All right, we're live here in the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker, about 8:55 on Wednesday morning. Have a rather tense situation going on here. We have a report of an armed man sitting in front of a business here on the east side of the street here. We're basically across the street from a McDonald's and a Hy-Vee. This individual, we've been told, has a gun, has been pointing at himself, maybe waving it around. Police dispatch and received a number of calls from concerned citizens about this, and now we have a very large law enforcement presence here at this scene. The parking lot, as you can see here, is blocked. I'm looking at about no less than a dozen to 15 officers here, some with their guns drawn. And again, I see the man holding his hand up in the air across the way there. We're not going to stay here real long at this point. I'm going to try to move on out of the way here, but again, this situation unfolding here at a very, very busy part of the peak, the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. I'm going to try to move out of the way just a bit so we can gain a little different perspective here. Again, this incident unfolding here this morning, it all started around 8:30 when police began to get calls of a person here with a gun that people said he was sitting on a bench out in front of apparently a beauty salon or a styling salon, and that individual, we're told, had a gun, was pointing it at his head, also waving it around from what we heard on the scanner. Again, we have been picking this up here and came out to the scene to confirm all these reports. Numerous law enforcement officers have responded, and the reports from multiple people who had come by here indicated that this person had a weapon and had been moving it around in the air, also was wearing a pair of headphones, we were told. A moment ago, I just saw the gentleman wearing a white t-shirt across the way there, and apparently just sitting there on a bench, put his hands up in the air. He's putting his hands up in the air again. So again, we're going to try to stay low here, lay low as much as we can. You can see there's officers back here behind the parking area of a BP station and a Starbucks next door. So you know right where we are. If you're familiar with Topeka, this is a very familiar area here. 29th and Wanamaker, one of the busier intersections of Topeka. Hy-Vee across the way over here, McDonald's right over here. And again, if you're driving down Wanamaker, I would say be careful. You certainly don't want any injuries from innocent people here. And we pray that this will unfold without any further incident, that this person will be able to be helped here and not have any gunfire of any kind. That's the hope and the prayers at this point. Very, very tense situation. As you can see, we have officers back here with their guns drawn, and it's just not a good situation for the police by any means. They're almost in a no-win situation here. Hopefully, the only win would be if this person will surrender, put the gun down, and to come out without any further incident. So again, if you're out in the area of Southwest 29th and Wanamaker, please do be careful. We pray this person will put the gun down, put down whatever he's got, whether it's a weapon. We don't know exactly what it is. We were told it appeared to be a weapon, a gun. That's what we've been told. But again, there's no confirmation of that. But it certainly would appear that there are a lot of concern, as you see here. Topeka Police, Kansas Highway Patrol, and Shawnee County Sheriff's deputies here all on the scene. They're staying back, and no one has gone up there toward this person from what I can tell. And this gentleman here across the street, this officer is stationed behind his police unit, his police car, and again right behind him, or to the front of him I should say, to the south, as you have the entrance there that would lead you to the north side of Starbucks. There are a number of other officers there, again with their guns out. This is serious business here. Very, very tense, very dangerous situation. We have motorists driving through here. You see all the cars, all the trucks just coming through here, even as this is unfolding. And again, we hope and pray no one innocent here will be injured. But again, it's a very tough situation. We'll keep it here live as you see what's going on. We're not sure how long this could take. But we basically have a standoff here is what it's boiling down to. A standoff with a person that we are told is armed, is sitting on a bench in front of a beauty salon. We're told the address we were given was 2940 Southwest Wanamaker. That was where people, the police here are being sent. And again, we are just across the street to the east of Wanamaker Road, across the street east of the McDonald's here. Cars again just coming down like it's a normal day, and it is a normal day except for this going on right here. A lot of us in the news business here in Topeka, a lot of us in the media, we're hoping for a day without any gunfire in Topeka, without any of these incidents. Yet we just seem to have one after the other. Every day we come into work and there seems to be something else. And here's another situation here that I'm sure the police don't want to be dealing with, but they're out here in great numbers to take all precautions and hopefully get this situation resolved peacefully. I'm standing on the sidewalk across the street here. I'm trying to stay well back of this incident. Again, I hope this person will see fit to put the weapon down or whatever he has and just come out peacefully so that the officers don't have to exert any effort in terms of bringing this person into custody safely. Let's get this person, let's get some help, hopefully, and God willing, there'll be no injuries out of this. But you can see again the traffic here, just a matter of a few feet from where this is all happening. This person is sitting maybe 50 feet from the traffic here. The traffic's just rolling through Wanamaker. Police are farther back in some cases than the very cars that are going by the street. Again, the people were concerned that this person was pointing a gun at his head, that he was then waving it around. And they were concerned that this was a threat to safety. Maybe this individual was even a threat to his own safety. I'm noticing traffic subsiding here a little bit. Maybe we've reached a point where the light has changed here at 29th and Wanamaker. We'll just keep it here live. As we are here on the scene of a developing situation here in southwest Topeka. This has been going on now for probably at least a half an hour. I see some officers across the way with binoculars looking to see what's going on. Other officers with their rifles drawn. Not a whole lot I can tell you right now other than what I've already told you folks. We'll just keep it here live for now. Move just a little bit, you'll see an orange E over there. That's orange E. Maybe you can see that back behind. That is the area where this individual is seated on a bench. That's where he's at. And again, we hope he just puts his weapon down if that is what he has. Again, that's what we were told that he had. Again, this is all unfolding, so we haven't had any official information about this at this juncture. I do see now that there is traffic being shut down ahead up at about the Heritage Bank location, which would be about 30th and Wanamaker, I'm going to say. It looks like they're shutting the traffic down. I noticed someone posting they can't believe they haven't shut the traffic down yet. I would anticipate that happening here at some point as longer this keeps going. I do see ahead, and you can see up there that the traffic that was headed to the north on southwest Wanamaker Road is being diverted into the Hy-Vee parking lot, it appears to me, at this juncture, down the road there, as you can see. I would not be a bit surprised to see traffic here on southbound Wanamaker closed down at some point. It may or may not. I just wouldn't be surprised, as I said, to see it shut down. Topeka police have had their hands full in the last week or so. There's been a number of incidents involving weapons. The city of Topeka has about had enough, I think, with the killings that have gone on here and in Lawrence among Topeka residents over there and others injured from Topeka and Lawrence. We've had a person killed yesterday morning, as you might recall, at 1234 Southwest Western. Another person in that case was critically injured. We don't know her situation. And again, we had a police shooting a week ago. This is all continuing right here this morning as we're here now with a person with a weapon seated out in front of a business there. We're told around the 2900 block here of Southwest Wanamaker. The officers were sent at about 8:30 or so this morning to 2940 Southwest Wanamaker. I told a colleague of mine when I heard that come in, I said, this does not sound good. It doesn't sound like a situation that is going to be something where the police are going to have a real positive result, unless this person will give it up and just come on out. That's going to be the only positive result at this point, obviously. No one would like to see this resolved peacefully, I'm sure, more than the Topeka Police, the Shawnee County Sheriff's officers, the Kansas Highway Patrol officers, all of whom are here at this time. We don't know the circumstances. We don't know the individual's name. He's wearing a white t-shirt apparently, sitting across there again in front of a business in the 2900 block here of Southwest Wanamaker. The parking lot's been shut down for a while, and you see police here with their weapons drawn. We're just going to keep it here live, folks. Again, we're hoping for a positive resolution to this situation here. We hope and pray it does end peacefully. Now you see that traffic has been shut down here on southbound Wanamaker Road as well. And there goes the Kansas Highway Patrol troopers. The Highway Patrol here is shutting down traffic, and we'll see where they go here. I think they're going to even close down to motorists exiting here out of the parking lot here by McDonald's and Hy-Vee. So I'm glad to see this. I think it was a good move, and I applaud the local law enforcement for monitoring the situation and realizing that there's just too much at risk right here at this time. There's an unknown situation, so they got it closed down, and that was a good thing. I think everybody involved in the situation right now would feel better about that. Let the police officers here take care of the situation as best they can. Hopefully they can reach this individual, talk with this person, and get him to surrender peacefully here. Again, we'll just kind of keep things live here for a few more minutes on Facebook as we're here again at the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker, where the standoff is ongoing. If you're just joining us, Topeka Police were called out here to the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker, specifically about the 2940 address, regarding a person that passersby saw sitting on a bench, a white male sitting on a bench with a white t-shirt. Apparently he had headphones on, and he was showing something that appeared to be a gun, pointing it at his head, we were told, and also waving it around. That was the word that we had gotten. Police did respond and quickly shut down the parking lot here in this area, Fox Cross shopping area, which is home to businesses such as Jeremiah Bullfrogs, Village Cleaners, Domino's Pizza, and Pella Windows and Doors at the end, and as you can see just beyond that, the Starbucks coffee shop, and beyond that, Blue Moose. So you know where we're at, hopefully. If you're familiar with Topeka, there's McDonald's over here, and Hy-Vee's right behind the McDonald's. This is where we are. Very busy area, and they quickly shut this down. The police quickly shut down the parking lot over here, and soon after that, they just began to wait this out. Hopefully something can be done here again with this person to get him to surrender peacefully. Now you might hear, well, let's listen if we can hear this. They're talking over the loudspeaker to him. Police are asking if he can hear him speaking on a loudspeaker. Police say, we want to talk to you. Can you wave? Maybe you can see him waving across the way. Try to scope it in a little bit more. They're asking now if they can talk on the phone without having to use a loudspeaker. gentleman has heard the police. He did wave in response to the police asking him if he heard him, if he would please wave. He did wave. Highway patrol officer just now asked McDonald's to please shut down their drive-through. Again, it's just causing more issues here. I'm not sure if that's going to cause more traffic tie-ups here. Again, everybody is being diverted off to the west here out of the parking lot. Now police have made contact with this person who, again, if you're just joining us, is involved in a standoff with officers. We're told the man has a weapon. About 8:30 this morning, he was seen pointing it at his head, waving it around, wearing headphones, and he's sitting in front of a business here in the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. So police here are trying to communicate with him. They're talking with him now over a loudspeaker. Looks like the man is beginning to move a little bit. We'll keep an eye on what's going on. Police here are put in a very difficult situation. And we don't need to elaborate on that right now, but they're in a very difficult situation. High tense, high stress right now. They're doing a wonderful job of trying to calm down the situation. As you can see, officers standing by. Key here is that no innocent people would be injured in this situation, but they also would like to get this person to surrender peacefully without any further incident. This could all end right away. The person would put down whatever it is he has, whether it's a weapon or whatever it is, and just come out, and the police would be glad to get him help and to take him to a local medical facility for treatment and evaluation. That's really where we stand at this point. We're out here in a very public place, obviously, and as I showed you earlier on this same Facebook Live, there were City Trooper asked me to move back a little bit, so we're heading back to where he said, get back on the pole here. But again, the cars have been blocked off here as of about 15 minutes ago, and we'll just kind of let you see what's happening here. We'll keep scooting back a bit here, and we are in this area. There's our patrol troopers here. A number of them are on the scene. Again, we have Shawnee County Sheriff, Topeka Police. Again, trying to get this situation to be resolved peacefully at this point. Hey, had you heard about that? Yeah. So we'll just see. Hopefully it'll get resolved peacefully. That's the main thing. Because they're kind of in a very difficult situation right now. Well, that's the answer right now. Just whatever it is now, just come out and don't make sure he gets help. We'd love to see this in peaceful. Good to see you. Take care, Brian. See you later. Long-time friend of mine came over to see what was going on, just tell me that they had multiple people in his office over here behind me who had seen this person and seen the gun. So indeed there was a gun from what we're told from this individual. And again, we are going to try to stay back as far as we can from this situation here. Again, all the people next door are being told to move back into the building. Lots of curiosity seekers at a time like this, and we're trying to get you the information as best we can also. But you don't want to be out in the middle of a place where someone has a weapon like that. And again, Again, I think police are trying to keep everyone safe, but certainly there's a lot of danger involved. And again, this is why I'm glad to see that the streets were blocked off here a short time ago. A large presence here of police here trying to get this situation under control. Even if you're just now driving us, here's someone coming through, maybe a crisis intervention team member. We're not sure who this is, but someone obviously with some credentials is coming through here. And we don't know exactly what brought that individual through or how they got through here, but I'm sure they'll try to get someone here with the crisis intervention training to try to diffuse this situation. Before it gets any worse. Going to give you a short little sweep here where we are. Again, to Southwest 29th and Wanamaker. We're just to the south of that address. A little bit of mist in the air. It's very chilly this morning, probably low 60s as I'm speaking to you here from Southwest 29th and Wanamaker in Southwest Topeka. This incident unfolding around 8:30 this morning, where police were called out here to the address they were given was 2940 Southwest Wanamaker. A little strip mall here, as you can see, it's home to Domino's Pizza, Village Cleaners, the Allure Hair Studio, Pella Windows. I can hear police shouting here instructions to this individual. Again, this would end real quickly if he'll. You know, he is coming out apparently with his hands up, it looks like. If you can see this, he is coming out with his hands up. He is coming out with his hands up right now. If you can see him coming across the way here. He is walking slowly. He's wearing a pair of gray pants, white shirt. Hopefully he'll keep his hands up. Now he's kneeling down, as you can see. And hopefully he'll keep his hands up. We'll keep it right here live. This is developing as we speak, live here from the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. Again, we hope and pray this person keeps his hands up. Police are standing by with their weapons drawn. But again, we hope and pray this guy keeps his hands up and the police can successfully get in there and help resolve the situation. Police are slowly approaching this man, very, very cautiously, as you can imagine, very slowly. Officers are moving in behind here, as you can see. We have officers moving in behind. We have 3 or 4 other officers coming through here with their weapons drawn. Again, the man with his arms up. We hope and pray this is how it's going to be peacefully. Watching it live. Man is wearing something around his neck. That could be the headphones that we were being told that he had earlier. We're not sure what those are. Well, a lot of potential for problems here. Officers, again, approaching very cautiously, very slowly. They've taken something from the man, apparently. And now they're putting his handcuffs on, and they're taking him into custody at this time, it appears like. So this, thank God, apparently has ended and been resolved peacefully. As you're seeing it right here, police here are now taking the man into custody. And now they're checking out to see if he left anything behind where he was. Other officers are scouting out that area. Others are approaching from the north. The man is now being checked for any other possible devices or weapons. Again, this is all unfolding live here this morning at the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. Bear with me here as I try to focus in just a little bit more on this. I apologize. try to get a little bit closer here. We go back out a little bit. Officers are talking to the man as he's being led into a apparently waiting police car, checking again to make sure there's nothing left behind that could be of danger to anyone. Again, this all unfolding here this morning, 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. We are very thankful this apparently has ended peacefully. Again, officers are still here on the scene, obviously trying to make sure there's nothing here that would be a threat to any individuals or the public. We'll just keep it here live. You're just joining us, a standoff situation here in the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker Road here has apparently ended peacefully without further incident. A man, we are told, with a gun had been seated here in front of the business that I'm showing you right here with this letter E in the front of it, in the Cross Strip Mall shopping area here at 2940 Southwest Wanamaker. About 8:30 a.m., several passersby reported seeing a man with a gun, and the man apparently was pointing it at his head and also waving it around. He was sitting on a bench out in front here of this business. Across the way here to my east, police responded, shut down the parking lot, and again tried to communicate with this individual. Eventually they shut down Wanamaker Road. It's just now, it looks like it's been reopened here in the last couple of minutes here. And we're just keeping it here live. Get some words from local law enforcement officials here at the scene. Hey, thank God that ended peacefully, right? Okay, so we'll be getting a briefing in 5 minutes right where we are here. Again, we're staying live here on Facebook, here live. Just again to show you where we're at, we're on the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker Road here, just across the street from the McDonald's. Right over here, as you can see, and then the Hy-Vee grocery store supermarket is right behind that. Again, we are very glad this situation unfolded the way it did. There's been no further incidents here this morning. And we will be getting a briefing shortly from Topeka Police, so we will stay right here until such time as that occurs. And then we will sign off. Again, we're grateful that this didn't end up being any worse than it was. The business, it says, is E-K-I-N-E-T-I-X. It looks like Personalized Fitness. E-Kitix. Personalized Fitness is the bench and where the individual was seated. And again, police were standing right out front there during this situation. So, thankfully, again, no further incidents. It was a very tense situation where it could have gone a lot of different ways, and we're glad to see that it didn't go that way. So again, we are live on Facebook. This kind of shows you where we're at here. If you're familiar with 29th and Wanamaker, we are just to the south of that, about a half a block. The businesses are right here. This is the side of the street that it's all down on. And again, you can see we're just over to the north of the Starbucks coffee shop. And very, 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 very tense situation. Again, we're thankful to say it ended and resolved peacefully.
Yeah, I'll go over. You can do that.
That works. I didn't know his name.
My car's over here. So
I was going to say, thanks. We still got some.
Waiting on another media member back there. So as soon as they get here, the officer wants to just do this news briefing one time.
I'll let you know I'm live on Facebook this way. This is always recorded.
Hello, Chris. How you doing? I got the Facebook going, so I'll keep it over here. How you doing? Glad it worked out the way it did. Yes. He's going to tell us something. Do you want to add anything, or just let him say it? Or?
Yeah, he'll go ahead.
He'll give us a briefing.
Okay. He needs it more than I do.
Well, I'll tell you what. That was a very tense situation there. Obviously, glad it worked out the way it did.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to have some officers here. I didn't know your name. I just wanted to
If I need anything, I'll call you later.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Whatever in the background y'all want. I
think I'll do it.
And can I do this live?
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely.
We're back live here with you.
Is this direct shot for everybody?
If you're going to ask questions, you need to be on my side. So
Right.
I was supposed to hear where you were. And everybody gets still.
okay, and here we go. Okay, very good.
All right, I know everybody probably needs the name. It's Captain Mike Cross, C-R-O-S-S, with the Spooky Police Department. I just wanted to give a quick media briefing. You all were here already, so to save you from reaching out to us, reach out to you first, makes things easier on all of us. But we were dispatched out here to 29th and Wanamaker at about 8:20 a.m. this morning. We received a call from some employees of the shopping center here behind us. They had observed a subject here at the shopping center who had a firearm. The call that came in to us, they indicated he didn't threaten them at all with the firearm. However, he was making gestures of threats to himself, like suicidal gestures, that he was going to harm himself. So they did dial 911, reached out to the law enforcement here. We got law enforcement out here on scene. We quickly secured the scene as best we could. Some of the steps we took were making sure the folks inside the businesses were safe and were contacted so they weren't coming outside. You can see we do have quite a bit of law enforcement resources here, but that's not so much for having force available to use, but to get some of the resources out here. Some of the resources we brought in place today were our crisis intervention team officers, our behavioral health unit sergeant, and an officer were out here. We basically got here, what we did is once we had those assets in place, some things were done to make sure folks in the area were safe, and then we made contact with the subject. And within probably 10 minutes of making contact with the subject by telephone, we did get him to surrender himself to us, and we are seeking mental health treatment for him as we speak. So he'll get those services, he'll get those things he needs. He's someone we've helped in the past, so we'll be helping him once again and getting him what he needs. Covered a lot of it, but I will take a few questions if you guys have a few questions.
What precautions did you take with the business owners and so on and so forth to make sure they were safe?
Right. So it's very difficult sometimes when officers are trying to stay in a position of safety to get up there and make those things. What we do is using the radio. We reach out to our police dispatchers and have them contact via telephone the businesses, talk to somebody and say, hey, just don't need you to leave or anything, but stay where you are. If you need to exit, go out in this direction or that direction because that's the safest way if you have to leave.
This person's known to have mental illness.
Yes, that's correct.
So he shouldn't have a gun. Do we know how that happened? Or
Absolutely, we do not know how that happened. So.
Mike, what's the biggest concern for you all in a situation like that where a weapon is involved? And we've had times where a person has been in a situation like that and maybe pointed it at an officer, and that's the worst situation.
Right, and we call those, when we refer to those two fields, we refer to those as suicide by cop incidents, and sometimes that can happen, which is why we take some of the precaution. We brought in some less lethal force options and got those in place before we started negotiating in case we reach that point, because the last thing we want to do is use force on someone who's basically having a medical situation, which is what a mental health crisis like this is. So we put those assets in place so we can do that, so we don't have to use deadly force except if the last resort.
Otherwise, the gentleman, you said once you guys started talking to him, he started becoming cooperative with you?
Yes.
You said he was inside yelling. Is that what he was trying to communicate at first?
That's right. He was just trying to communicate that he was trying to draw some attention to get the help that he needs.
Mike, did he actually have a weapon?
He did in fact have a firearm. I can't confirm at this time if it's a working firearm, what type of firearm, etc., but he did have a handgun with him.
Was he in tele windows? Is that where he was at? Where did he come out
It
of?
was outside the area here, kind of between.
Okay.
There's kind of a courtyard there that goes up in between. Anything else I can help with? Guys, some of the other things, I know I talked about the things we brought in that people called. We did shut down Wanamaker once we had the assets in place to do so. But our officers did everything we could just to make sure the general public was safe and that we could resolve this thing without anybody harmed whatsoever.
And how thankful are you that it turned out this way, just knowing how things have been in the news lately? I mean,
This is the way we want every law enforcement encounter to go, and unfortunately they don't always. That's why we bring those assets in. We do things like stay back. We don't start negotiating and talking with these, someone in mental crisis until we have the extra assets here to help us accomplish it as safely for everybody as we can.
Mike, last thought. What was your thought as you saw the man come out with his hands up? Was that a relief for you at that point?
Yes, it's absolutely a relief, and not only that, but then I get here and I talk to my behavioral health unit officers and they tell me that this is a gentleman we've worked with in the past. He is agreeing to go get help, and they've actually reached out to family of his they know. That's all lined up, and I know probably by the time we wrap up these interviews, he's seeking the professional help that he needs.
Thank you, Mike.
no charges. No charges are to be filed on this?
I can't say for certain right now because there may be some that do apply, but our first and foremost goal here with these crisis situations, with mental health crisis, is to try to get them the professional help that they need.
Thank you, Mike.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Everybody get the sound bites and everything they want.
There you go, from Southwest Topeka. You heard it from Captain Mike Cross, Topeka Police. Man who has been known to have mental health issues in the past. He was known to Topeka police officers. Again, he was seen earlier this morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, we got one more detail here. Excuse me. We'll go back with it in a moment.
Are you good? It's so hard with all of you to try to make sure I'm working with everybody here. All right, so I'll go back over with the main details with him again, but I have just learned, Lieutenant Heaven just informed me now that we've secured the scene and checked on everything, it was a replica firearm. It was not, in fact, a real firearm. So it was a replica firearm, but that goes back to Sean's question that you posed to me of, do we see these kind of situations? And yeah, that could have led to a situation where that replica firearm could have been used to force the law enforcement officers to use force if this person wanted to end their life. So we're working on that, get them the professional help they need. That's number one here today. Everybody's going home safe.
Replica, what, a toy gun?
Toy gun or like a fake firearm. There's BB guns that look like real firearms. What I'm told, this is not a real firearm. Okay? All right. All right, so back to your initial questions here.
And if you wouldn't mind,
Okay, there you heard it from Captain Mike Cross again. And this has happened before too. And a few years back, a gentleman had a replica gun, and he was using it to point it at Topeka police officers. After doing so, police opened fire and they killed. So we're going to show you exactly where this all happened before we sign off, so we can get a little bit closer here. And then we will be signing off after a long Facebook Live here. Thanks for staying with us. Again, we're thankful that we have some good news to report in terms of a potential crisis that was averted this morning. Cooler heads prevailed. The Topeka police handled it with exceptional diligence, and this was the way everybody wanted to see it happen. And again, this all occurring right back here is where the gentleman was seated, right back as you see right in here. And then again, the police were stationed back off here to the south, and that's where they did get a hold of each other. They communicated with each other as the officers were stationed back here to the south and west here in the area just to the north of Starbucks Coffee House. The gentleman was able, they made contact with the gentleman who was seated right over here. And that individual then, within about 10 minutes, did surrender to police officers with his hands up. Again, the man had a replica firearm. Had he pointed that firearm at the police, their outcome likely would not have been what it was. Replica firearm is very hard to detect from that distance, and as Mike Cross said, people have been known to commit suicide by cops. This is not unusual. Unfortunately, it does happen occasionally. Thankfully, in this case, it was averted. So we will be signing off here again from the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. Traffic's back flowing through the area. Things have returned to normal. Police officers are leaving the scene. And again, the individual who was here is going to be getting some help we hope and pray that he will be doing better. And again, we're just thankful that there were no serious incidents, no serious injuries out of this incident. It did draw a large presence of Topeka Police, Shawnee County Sheriff, and deputies and Kansas Highway Patrol troopers all converging here at this location this morning. Again, you see people walking by here, and the beautiful Wednesday morning. It's a cool morning. The temperature has gone down here in Topeka, and a little misty out here, so we've been out here again for about an hour at this location. Wrapping it up one last time, just in case you're just joining us. About 8:20 this morning, Topeka Police received a call that there was a man in an area here at the shopping area known as Fox Cross shopping area here at 2940 Southwest Wanamaker. The individual, we were told, had what appeared to be a weapon, a gun, was pointing it at himself, apparently to do harm to himself. The people here said they never felt in danger, but the individual was showing signs that he could hurt himself. Police responded to the scene. They were able to secure the area. They blocked off this parking lot here that I'm showing you. They then blocked off a short time later Southwest Wanamaker here to my north at 29th and down to about 30th on the south here as they began their negotiations with this individual. Crisis intervention team members came out to help resolve the situation peacefully. After about 10 minutes of talking to the person, he did come out with his hands up. He knelt down. Police came, got him handcuffed, made sure he was not armed with anything else, no other devices on his person, and then he was taken by police to get treatment at a mental health facility here in Topeka. The individual, we were told, was known to officers who had experience with this person, and they said he has had mental health issues in the past. The final bit of information was that this person, who police thought might have been trying to commit suicide by cop, actually had what was known as a replica or a fake toy handgun. But again, it can look very real, especially from a distance back from where the police were. To the best of our knowledge, the man never pointed the gun at the officers, and again, the officers were able to take him into custody peacefully and to get him the help that he needs. We'll sign off from now. Thank you for joining us. We are in the 2900 block of Southwest Wanamaker. This is Phil Anderson reporting for CJOnline.com.